So Etsy just came out and said there are definitely two factors that are absolutely not included in search or helping you get ranked better or worse on the platform. So I'm going to go into these two aspects of what they're talking about, what it means for you, and just talk about how Etsy search works in general, so you know how to leverage it so that you can improve, get more traffic, get more sales, and get all the things. Let's go. And if you don't know who I am, LL, I help Etsy sellers start, build, and grow their businesses so they can be a lot less frustrated. If you need more help growing your business, join the Etsy Games. There's a link below, or type in the chat games or the messages if you're watching on YouTube, or the comments, whatever the thing is called. Type games in there. I'll send you a link to check out the Etsy Games program so you can get more help growing your Etsy shop a lot faster, get the support and motivation. All right, guys, SEO search, it's talked about ad nauseum. People are always blaming the algorithm for their performance or lack of performance, but Etsy did just come out and say specifically that there are two factors that do not play into search, that do not help you out. So what are they? So the first is star seller. If you get the star seller badge, it absolutely does not help you when it comes to search. It doesn't help you get shown more. It doesn't help people buy more. It doesn't help you get more traffic. They are saying it doesn't help you. But there is a caveat to that. So if you don't know what star seller is, it is the badge that you get if you have on-time shipping, a strong message response rate, and then good reviews. So those are the three categories to then get star seller. So there's a dashboard in your Etsy platform if you want to see what the thresholds are for those to reach those. But then when you get all three, you will get the star seller badge. So when you have the badge, again, it doesn't help or hurt you in search. But Etsy did say, kind of on the flip side, that while the star seller badge itself doesn't help you in search, that the underlying factors do hurt you or help you in search. So it kind of does matter. It kind of does impact you directly, just not the badge itself. So we know reviews play into search ranking. We know message response rate plays into search ranking. And we know shipping plays into search ranking. So all of those things do ultimately impact how your shop is perceived, not only by the customer, but by the algorithm and in search. So it's important to make sure that you are doing those things regularly and have strong metrics in those areas. Now, if you're just a percentage below the threshold and you're still doing like the threshold for message response rate is like 95%. If you're at 90%, is it going to hurt you in search? No. I can't imagine that it will. It's preventing you from getting the star seller badge, but it's ultimately, that's still a very strong response rate. Again, if you have a 4.7 average review rating and the threshold is 4.8 to show up to get the star seller badge, is that hurting you? No. What I'm talking about is where maybe your on-time shipping is like 50%. That is not good. That's like half of 100%. Obviously, I can do math. Congratulations. But that is not a good look, not from the customer perspective, not from the algorithm perspective. It wants to make sure that buyers are taken care of so that they come back and buy from the platform. So if you're not taking care of them, you're not responding to them, you're shipping stuff out slow, the algorithm naturally is not going to show your stuff, is going to stop showing your stuff higher, being higher ranked, because the customers aren't getting a good experience, and they're going to present that in a way that's reflective of Etsy. They're going to be like, okay, Etsy sucks, when it really, this seller sucks. So that is how it plays into. So while it doesn't directly impact you, it still impacts you. The other thing that they said was running Etsy ads doesn't influence where your listings appear in search. So Etsy puts that in two buckets. So if you run Etsy ads, those metrics apply. So whether you're getting sales, traffic, impressions, you can kind of see those metrics. But regardless of how your Etsy ads perform, that doesn't impact the organic performance, meaning the stuff, how it's performing outside of being advertised, outside of spending money. So that really makes a difference, because if you're advertising just to get a boost from organically, they're saying it doesn't matter. It doesn't play into fact. So you could do, this is why I say this all the time. If you're advertising listings and some of them are doing well, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to do well organically, and vice versa. If you have listings that are doing well organically and you advertise them, they may not do well when they're being advertised. There's a good chance that they will, and it does translate, but they're not directly impact. The metrics are separate, so one doesn't help the other. Now, if you advertise your listings, you could get a good, you could spend a little bit of money and see how they perform a little bit quicker. But I always caution people not to advertise before they're ready. A lot of people advertise right away when their listings aren't set up correctly. They're not using great keywords. So then they're going to spend money and the listings still aren't going to perform. And then they're going to lose money, creating even more frustration, and they're going to quit a lot faster. So get organic sales faster. Make sure you have a good handle on how to get sales organically before you advertise. Because if you can't get sales organically, there's a problem. There's a far deeper problem. Either there's an SEO problem or a niche problem or other factors at play where your people aren't coming and buying organically. So advertising is not going to help. It's just basically amplifying what's already not working, and then you're spending money. So those are the two factors that they came out and said that are absolutely, quote unquote, not impacting search. Obviously, this could change. This is why we have to keep in tune with what's going on, but also we can't let it really impact a lot of what we're doing, especially the stuff that we can't control. Those don't directly impact search, but as you can see, some of the underlying factors do. It also helps to know kind of how search works. I'm going to explain that so that you have a good understanding. And again, some of the stuff you can't control, some of it you can. Focus on what you can control so that you can perform. So how search works is the first bucket is query matching. So a buyer types in something in the search bar, and then Etsy will have a bucket of all of the listings, the potential listings that it could show that person for that search. And those will be on however many pages of listings that is. So that's step one. And that just looks at, okay, if the person typed in gold pendant heart necklace, what are the listings that I could potentially show that person? So it looks at all the data in the listings in the shop, like what listings have those keywords, which listings have those sections, which listings sell necklaces, which listings sell pendant necklaces. So it looks and puts a bucket of all those potential listings out there. It's kind of like dating the first time. It's like, okay, do you want to date a man? Do you want to date a woman? Do you want to date someone that's bald? Hopefully. Just kidding. Do you want to date someone that has hair? So that's like your bucket. Those are your check boxes, but that's really, at the end of the day, not really what matters the most. So that's where it brings us to bucket number 2. And this is where Etsy then uses ranking to sort through all of the potential listings and show and rank the ones that they think will be the best fit, the ones that have the highest probability of the person buying, because that's all that the algorithm cares about, is making people, or not making them, but presenting listings that have the highest chance of them buying listings in front of the person that has the highest chance of buying the listings and doing the best match. So this is, again, using the dating analogy. This is where it kind of goes a little bit deeper. Does this, well, you wanted a man that has hair, well, but you don't want a man that has hair that smokes, right? Or you don't want a man that has hair that doesn't have the same beliefs as you. So they kind of takes it from a deeper level to then be like, okay, I am not going to show this listing or this person that smokes on the first page. They're going to go at least down to the 5th page. Does the same thing with your listings. So the factors that I'm going to talk about now kind of help the algorithm rank the listings on the different pages and the order that they're going to show. So the first is relevancy. Which listings are the most relevant to what the buyer is searching for. It looks at the keywords. It looks at the terms. It looks at how the listings are set up again, and sees which ones are the most relevant to what they're looking for. Again, someone just has necklaces, that's not as relevant to a gold pendant heart necklace. So it's going to be way far back in search. If someone has a gold pendant necklace, it's going to be higher up. They have a gold pendant heart necklace, higher up. So that definitely plays into the search factors. The next is shop quality. Looking at the shop, are all the shop sections filled out? Is it a quality shop? Again, that plays into the know, like, and trust factor. It wants to make sure it's showing listings and shops that are good quality. Listing quality, again, Are all the listing photos up there? Are the listings the correct resolution? Is there lower shipping cost? Are all the sections filled out? All the attributes filled out? Is there a return policy? So all the listing quality factors come into play because that is how the customer is going to perceive it. If there's a listing which has one picture, one tag, two-word description, that's not a good quality listing. That doesn't bode well. It doesn't look good. Do you really think that you're going to get a good quality product from someone that didn't even take the time to fill out their whole listing? Probably not. It's not a good indicator. So that's why you have to take that extra time, make sure you have a good quality listing. Customer service, like I was talking about earlier, message response time, fast shipping, your review rate, your case rate. How many cases have you had filed against you in the last 3 months? Hopefully none, but if people can't get a resolution, they're going to file a case. So be mindful of that. The next is translations and language. To keep it simple, just making sure that your language of your listings is the same as your language of your shop when you set it up. If it's English, it should be English. If it's Spanish, it should be Spanish. You shouldn't have an English language when you set up your shop and then Spanish listings. It doesn't make sense. Recency, so how soon have you put up your listing? For new listings, they get a little bit of an SEO boost just so the algorithm can do a sample size to see, okay, how is this listing going to perform? Are people engaging with it, clicking into it, favoriting, buying it? That's only temporary. So this is never a long-term strategy. People used to game the system and just renew listings all the time to get that boost. Etsy took that away, so you're not going to game the system anymore. You're just going to waste money if you keep renewing listings. The next is engagement rate, again, to see how over time which people are clicking on the listings, or getting sales, favorites, all the things. And the last one, and the most frustrating one of them all, because you have absolutely no control of this, is shopper habits. And this one probably, Etsy doesn't say this has more weight, but it probably does. Because Etsy shows listings to shoppers based on their previous buying habits. You know, what have they favorited before? What have they liked before? What have they bought before? And then what are they searching for now? So that is pretty much, that's going to be the biggest indicator of what they're going to buy in the future. And you could have a perfect shop, a perfect listing, and based on that buyer behavior, you're not going to show up on page one. And there's nothing that you can do about it, but you're going to set yourself up in a way that you're going to show up for other people, for sure. And this is why you can't search for your own listings, your own keywords in Etsy to see how they're ranking, because it's different for everybody. Even if you do incognito mode or private mode, it's just a whitewashed version of searching because it doesn't have any data behind it. So it's going to be, most people are going to have data, so it's going to change how they're searching. So just make sure that you're doing what you can and doing your keyword research and setting your listings up and having complete stuff for the best chance of success, no matter the buyer, no matter the shop. That is it for the kind of the breakdown and what impacts search and things that Etsy just recently said about search. But again, focus on what you can control, make sure your stuff's set up correctly, and give yourself the best chance of success when you're doing new listings.